Southern New England's trusted news source, ABC6 News at Noon.
Good afternoon to you, folks. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Casey Cantz. Doreen is off, and let's start with the weather today. And if you've been outside at all today, well, you will know that this heat has not let up at all in the midst of another heat wave. Chelsea, good afternoon to you.
Yeah, we're currently on day 5, Casey. Good afternoon to you. Hi, everyone. We are looking at temperatures at TF Green Airport coming in currently at 92 degrees. You factor in the dew points that are in the low to mid 70s, and we feel like 101 degrees out there. It's a day that you need to find some relief, be it in the AC, a pool, the ocean, a lake, whatever you can do to keep your body temp down today, because it is very hot outside once again. Temperatures inland in the low to mid 90s, 91 in Taunton, 94 in Norwood, 89 in Smithfield right now. A little relief at the coastline, but again, it's very, very humid, and that makes all of us feel significantly warmer. Those current feel like temperatures over 100 degrees for New Bedford, Providence, Taunton, and Norwood right now, and even along the coastline feel like temps are in the upper 80s and low 90s. That's why we have a heat advisory for today and tomorrow. We have 2 more days of this heat and humidity before we finally see some relief in the 7-day. Satellite radar images quiet. You're seeing sunshine with some passing clouds at times. There's the outside chance of a spot shower today, but for the most part, we're looking at that hazy sunshine and hot, humid weather continuing. As I mentioned, there is some relief in the 7-day forecast. I'll have much more on that in just a few minutes. Casey?
Yeah, we'll look forward to that, Chelsea. Thank you. Not a sight you see too often. Rhode Island's 2 senators putting waders on and heading into the bay in Bristol today, all to promote shellfish aquaculture. What's that all about? ABC6 News reporter Natalie Nuri shares what the Ocean State's senior senator had to say.
We're here on the beautiful Roger Williams campus, where beside me lies the university's aquaculture farm, where they've invited some of their biggest advocates for funding to come take a closer look. Senators Whitehouse and Reed worked and advocated to secure a $1.6 million grant for the Roger Williams University oyster growing operation that they highlighted on Monday. The senators took a dry tour of the university's lab and oyster hatchery, then put on some waders to take a wet tour of their aquaculture farm in Mount Hope Bay.
This is a real resource for the state, and this is an investment. It's not just some money. It is an investment in our productivity and in our people.
The senators hope with this investment, it'll support shellfish aquaculture farmers who come to Roger Williams with their research, legal services, and resources. And this federal funding will also help the university raise 4 million oyster seeds to help bring to the aquaculture industry. For now, reporting in Bristol, Natalie Nuri, ABC6 News.
A good place to be today, Natalie. Thank you for that. Other headlines we're following today: a person in serious condition at the hospital after being hit by a car in Providence overnight. Providence police telling us this happened on Allens Avenue. Call coming in just after 1:30 this morning. Security guards in the area telling us a lot of people were there to celebrate the Dominican festival. Those witnesses also telling us the person was not in the crosswalk during the time of the crash. Police say they have identified a vehicle in connection with the hit and run, but they are not ready to release that information yet. Providence police also investigating shots fired on the corner of Westfield Street and Elmwood Avenue overnight. Police tell us a car was shot there. They say no one was injured and no arrests have been made. Rhode Island celebrates Victory Day today as a state holiday. The holiday is celebrated to remember the end of World War II in the Pacific. Rhode Island is actually the only state that considers today a holiday. RIPTA is running a holiday schedule today to commemorate the state holiday. There's also trash collection delays in some cities and towns, so do make sure you check with your local service. Now to an ABC6 News follow-up. An investigation underway after a 10-month-old boy drowned in a bathtub on Saturday in Providence. Police say they were called to a home on Chad Brown Street Saturday, where that child was pronounced dead on scene. Saturday afternoon, police, DCYF, the medical examiner were all seen outside of this apartment. DCYF telling us Child Protective Services is investigating the incident but is not sharing any information due to confidentiality. And 4 kids and 3 adults recovering in the hospital after they were hit by fireworks that malfunctioned. This was at a festival in Cumberland Saturday night. Happened just after 10 o'clock at Diamond Hill Park during a fireworks display at Cumberland Fest. Officials say this was a professional fireworks show, but some of the fireworks didn't go up in the air and instead exploded when they hit the ground near a large group of people. 3 ambulances were called and all 7 people were taken to the hospital with minor injuries. The Rhode Island State Fire Marshal's office is investigating. Elementary and middle schools in Rehoboth will remain part of the Dighton-Rehoboth Regional School District. This after a vote during a special town meeting Saturday. A K-8 withdrawal committee had been looking into this issue since the proposal got enough signatures to trigger the meeting. Proponents were focused on the financials of this proposal, which would have allowed Dighton and Rehoboth to pay 100% of their K-8 budgets. 70% of voters turned down the proposal to withdraw. A 22-year-old Massachusetts woman is dead after a motorcycle crash this weekend. This happened Saturday night on I-95 near Thurbers Avenue. The driver was identified as Jessica Correas Hernandez of New Bedford. Police say she lost control of the motorcycle and struck a barrier. She was taken to Rhode Island Hospital, but later pronounced dead. Tomorrow, the Warren Town Council will vote on a proposal to ban smoking pot in public. Recreational use of cannabis was legalized in Rhode Island back in May. But if the proposal passes, Warren would be the first town in the state to put a ban like this in place. According to the proposed ordinance, public places would include public streets, parking lots, parks, and athletic centers.
There's a general level of respect when you're around families and you're in public places, like even downtown here in Warren. It seems a little bit out of place to see someone like smoking right in front of you.
So that people wouldn't be offended by the smell or the sight of it being consumed. Give them an area where they can be off, like cigarettes, by themselves and enjoy it.
Tomorrow's town council meeting starts at 7 o'clock. There will be time at the start of the meeting for public comment. The Republican leader of the House visiting Rhode Island this weekend in support of Alan Fung, the former Cranston mayor running for the 2nd District congressional seat, being vacated by a retiring Jim Langevin. House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy made the trip to the Ocean State Saturday. McCarthy tweeting out this picture that you see here of him and Fung saying, "Let's turn Rhode Island to red." The most recent Boston Globe poll found Fung leading each of his potential Democratic opponents in the race. State Treasurer Seth Magaziner currently leads the Democratic field. A North Attleboro Catholic priest on administrative leave today after allegations of misconduct. The Diocese of Fall River says Reverend Rodney Tebow is under investigation for possible violation of the Code of Conduct for priests. He was assigned to North Attleboro in 2019 to serve the town's 3 parishes before they were merged into 1 the following year. The Diocese of Fall River also says the alleged misconduct does not involve a minor. Coming up on Wednesday, the Providence City Council will review its proposal for a ballot measure to create a hybrid school board. The council voted to pass the proposal last week, but it was vetoed by Mayor Alorza on Friday. Now the council is considering overriding his veto. The proposed hybrid school board would be composed of 5 elected members and then 5 appointed members. Currently, all members are selected by the mayor. And still to come today on ABC6 News at noon, Democrats secure a win in the Senate on President Biden's new Inflation Reduction Act. How they say it'll better the climate, health care, and taxes, and also the Republican response. And later, we'll tell you where you can apply to be a pro napper. The top qualification? You really sleep through anything. Stay with us. Welcome back. Checking political news now. And a sweeping bill to address a host of issues, including climate change and prescription drug costs, is now one step closer to becoming law. Senate Democrats successfully pushed through the Inflation Reduction Act over the weekend after a marathon session of votes where Republicans tried repeatedly to block it. ABC's Faith Abube gets us caught up today from Washington.
Senate Democrats literally jumping for joy on the chamber floor after passing a historic climate change, tax, and health care bill without a single Republican vote. Vice President Kamala Harris casting the tie-breaking vote Sunday.
And the bill, as amended, is passed.
The major breakthrough on the president's core agenda coming after months of fragile negotiations that repeatedly stalled. But despite political infighting and Republicans united in opposition, Democrats approving the $740 billion Inflation Reduction Act using the process called reconciliation, where only 51 votes are needed. The bill would make the largest climate investment in U.S. history, provide tax credits to buy electric vehicles. It also lowers some health insurance premiums and allow Medicare to negotiate the price of some high-cost prescription drugs with pharmaceutical companies. The bill also caps the annual out-of-pocket cost for prescription drugs for seniors at $2,000.
That's a big deal. It changes people's lives. There's a whole range of things that are really game changers for ordinary folks.
Democrats say the provisions will be paid for in part with revenue from a new 15% minimum tax on corporations with at least $1 billion in income.
I am confident the Inflation Reduction Act will endure as one of the defining legislative feats of the 21st century.
Some Democrats admit it'll take time for the bill to have any impact on inflation. Republicans, however, pointing to one analysis by the University of Pennsylvania, which predicts the impact will be statistically indistinguishable to zero.
This Inflation Reduction Act is a lie. It's not going to reduce inflation.
But the GOP also facing backlash after blocking a push to include in the bill a $35 monthly cap on insulin.
My son can't live without insulin, so it's really important that we're able to afford for him to live, obviously.
And the House is expected to pass the bill this week before it heads to President Biden's desk for his signature. In Washington, Faith Abube, ABC News.
And still to come today at noon, he's coming back. The contract the Bruins gave Patrice Bergeron to stick around as the team's captain. Plus, Chelsea has your full 7-day forecast. It's all coming up when ABC6 News at noon continues after this. Back with some breaking Bruins news today, and the captain is back. Patrice Bergeron inking a one-year deal today to remain in Boston. The deal worth $2.5 million, another possible $2.5 million in incentives. There was some uncertainty after the season ended on what Bergeron's future would be, but the 37-year-old captain will be back for one more go of it this upcoming season. The Bruins also just announced moments ago that they're bringing back centerman David Krejci on a one-year deal. Well, a baseball legend is retiring from the Red Sox broadcasting booth. Dennis Eckersley will work his last game when the Sox close out the regular season in October. Eck has been broadcasting for NESN since the early 2000s, recently taking on a larger role in the booth. He's been known all around New England for his Eckisms that even inspired their own Twitter account. He's retiring to spend more time with his grandkids in California.
And now, your ABC6 Storm Tracker weather with meteorologist Chelsea Priest.
Another very hot, very humid day here in southern New England. Our temperatures right now are back into the low 90s range, feeling like 101 degrees in the Providence area under a mix of sun and clouds. Now, we've had 5 days in a row of 90 degrees or higher. Not quite at 93 just yet, but we've hit 90, so it's officially our 5th day of this heat wave. Tomorrow, another day with temperatures in the 90s, and honestly, it would have been longer, but the day to kick off our heat and humidity on Wednesday last week was only 89 degrees. We missed it by 1 degree of having kind of our longest heat wave in the history at TF Green Airport. Not quite making that record, but another very long stretch of high heat, high humidity here. It was just a few weeks ago that we had 6 days of high heat and humidity, and we're back in that trend right now, but there's relief in sight. Not today. Low 90s outside right now in the Providence area, upper 80s in Smithfield, low to mid 80s along the coastline. Average high is 83 degrees for this time of year. So we're coming up about 10 degrees above that, just the temperature alone, without even factoring in the humidity. The record for today, set all the way back in 1909, was 95 degrees. It is 95 degrees, and we'll get close to that this afternoon. I don't think we hit 95 today, but very close. So it just goes to show how hot and humid it is outside. Breeze is coming in out of the southwest, 10 to 15 miles per hour, picking up a bit, which gives you some relief anytime you get a nice breeze, but a southwesterly wind direction continues to pump in humidity levels. And what we're looking at outside right now are dew points in the low to mid 70s range, feeling very sticky outside as we head to the afternoon. And you factor in the humidity, and it makes us feel so much warmer. Heat indices across the area coming up over 100 degrees right now for many of us, 97 for a feel-like temperature in Smithfield. And even if you're trying to get some relief along the coastline, those feel-like temperatures are still hovering around 90 degrees. Now, the humidity and the high temperatures stay in place for today, for tomorrow, but you're going to notice a downward trend in humidity levels for Wednesday and into Thursday, but a sharp trend downward as we head through Thursday afternoon and especially into the weekend. You're going to be feeling so much more comfortable outside as we head through the end of the week. The drop in humidity also comes with the chance of some rain, which is great because we're under severe drought conditions, and also cooler temperatures. Today and tomorrow still very hot. We drop more than 10 degrees as we head through Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and into the upcoming weekend with highs only in the low to maybe mid 80s range. Today and tomorrow, we still have the heat advisory in place. It's another couple of days that you just need to use your common sense, stay hydrated, take frequent breaks, don't overexert yourself. If you do have to be outside doing any sort of activity, keep an eye on the little kids, your elderly neighbors, the pets, all of that. The checklist we've gone through so many times these past few weeks. Otherwise, partly sunny conditions. There is some rain shower activity off to our north and our west. It's not out of the question that we see an isolated shower outside today. That risk is very low. I don't even have it on the 7-day. Now, tomorrow, the risk goes up a bit. What you're looking at today, mix of sun and clouds out there. Overnight, a few sprinkles, some fog expected, and then tomorrow, partly sunny to start the day. Now, this is about 5, 6 o'clock tomorrow evening, and we have a front coming through, and you're looking at the chance of some rain and thunderstorm activity. Heading into the overnight hours, that risk of rain and a lot of clouds continues. And into Wednesday, a mostly cloudy day out there, significantly cooler, still muggy with some spotty showers around at times. Low to mid 90s today, heat, humidity sticking around. Again, if you're getting some relief at the coastline, those temps are in the mid to upper 80s range. Our low tide was at about 10 o'clock this morning. UV index very high. Wave heights 4 to 5 feet, but the rip current risk for most beaches is still low today. There was a breeze at the coastline as well, but when you factor in the humidity, we feel so much warmer. Upper 70s tonight, some fog, a few sprinkles possible, and then tomorrow another hot, humid day. It's our last day of this stretch. The rest of the 7-day forecast has significantly cooler temperatures, topping out only in the low 80s on Wednesday and Thursday with a chance of some rain. Much brighter for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with temperatures staying in the low 80s and comfortable humidity levels. Casey?
All right. All right, appreciate that. Thank you. 4 Muslim men killed in New Mexico in what President Biden calls hateful attacks. Coming up, how authorities are tracing the connection between the 4 victims. Back to check some national headlines now. In the investigation into a string of murders of Muslim men in New Mexico that officials say may be linked. All 4 men were killed in Albuquerque, and police are on the hunt for their killer today. ABC's Rena Roy has the latest.
An intense search underway in Albuquerque, New Mexico, in the murders of 4 Muslim men. Police ramping up air patrols as authorities try to track down this car of interest suspected of being used in the recent homicides.
If you see a dark-colored 4-door sedan, Volkswagen, Passat, or Jetta, we encourage you to call the police with that information.
The latest murder victim, a young man from South Asia who was shot Friday night.
Every New Mexican should stand up and against this kind of hatred. It has no place in this city, and it has no place in our state.
President Biden echoing that sentiment, tweeting these hateful attacks have no place in America. A week ago, 27-year-old Mohammed Afzal Hussein was gunned down.
Whenever I look out of the window, I say, oh, this is the place my brother got shot. So even I couldn't come out of my apartment.
41-year-old Aftab Hussein was killed on July 26th. Both men were Muslim and from Pakistan. In those 3 cases, police say the men were ambushed with no warning. Authorities are also looking into the November 2021 killing of Mohammed Ahmadi. The FBI is now helping local police to see if all are connected. There's now a $20,000 reward being offered for information leading to an arrest. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
And still to come today on ABC6 News at noon. A new job just for you if you love to sleep. What you need to get done on your application by Thursday to become a professional napper. Plus, Chelsea has another look at that afternoon forecast. It's all coming up. Stay with us. mattress brand is hiring Casper sleepers to snooze for a living, putting a whole new spin on sleeping on the job. Job requirements, here you go. They include sleeping in company stores and in other random locations. The qualifications, an exceptional sleeping ability, Chelsea. Also, a desire to sleep as much as possible, and of course, the ability to sleep through anything. The company is taking applications through Thursday. I check all the boxes. I'm assuming
too.
You do as well.
I think we're working on the morning shift
Yes.
as long as we've worked on.
That's it.
We are professional nappers. I can fall asleep
Me too.
anywhere.
Oh my God, I doze off. It doesn't matter.
If I got a little comfortable right here and
Yeah.
now, I could fall
I'm
asleep.
with you.
So
We're gonna
maybe
apply.
we could get a
Yeah, we
part-time job napping.
Got to do so by this week.
Might as well get paid for it.
Yep.
We are looking at a day with some high heat and humidity continuing. Low to mid 90s for today, for tomorrow, and then finally some relief. Late tomorrow, some scattered rain and thunderstorms move in. We'll continue to see some scattered rain Wednesday and Thursday. Finally, Friday's the day where we'll have cooler temps and really comfortable dew points.
That is circled on the
Yes.
calendar. All right, Chelsea, thank you for that. Thank you, folks, for watching as well. The news continues first to 4. And for news and weather anytime, check us out at abc6.com. Have a great rest of your Monday.